Hello everybody, getting ready to do lesson 1.4 part 2 of Algebra 2 Math. And today for 1.4 we have a 30-point class worksheet today, and then we have 2 points here of note taking. This is part 2 of factoring ax squared plus bx plus c. And then here is your standard. And let's go right into our lesson today. Factoring special products, the values of a and c and ax squared plus bx plus c are perfect squares. Check to see whether you can use one of the special factoring patterns to expressions. So, factor the expression. We have 9x squared minus 64. So, 9x squared minus 64 will be the same thing as 3x squared minus 8 squared. We can reduce these or factor them down to the base here, and then squaring this to equal 9x squared, and then negative 64 can be a negative 8 squared. So it's a difference of two square pattern here. 3x plus 8, 3x minus 8. That's a pattern that is common in factoring quadratics. So factoring this one, 4y squared plus 20y plus 25, we have a perfect square trinomial here. 2y squared, this can be factored to 2y squared plus 2 times 2y5, or 2 times ab is what our middle term is here, plus 5 squared would be our c, would be the square of c. So 2y plus 5 squared would be our perfect square trinomial for this. And then we have factor the expression here, 36w squared minus 12i plus 1. Now we can break this down into 6w squared minus 2 times ab. So ab, a, and b here. This is a, then this would be b, plus 1 squared. This would be a perfect square trinomial. And then this can be reduced down to 6w minus 1. It would be a difference of a perfect square here. 6w minus 1 for our perfect square trinomial for this one here. Now let's factor this for our guided practice. Students, this is yours here. Pay attention to your independent practice. So in this situation here, 16x squared minus 1, we have a, the square of this would be 4x squared, and then negative 1 squared. Now, negative 1, or rather 1 times 1 is 1, so it'll be the negative of 1 squared, and then that would be this here. It'd be the difference of a square. Now this would be a difference of a square, and it would become this 4x plus 1, 4x minus 1 would be the difference of a square factoring for this expression. Factoring out monomials. When factoring expression, first check to see whether it determines a monomial factor. So in this situation here, we have 5x squared minus 45. What can we factor out of that? We can factor out a 5. And then we get a difference of a square here. So it'll be 5 times x plus 3x minus 3 for that. And then this situation here where we have 6q squared minus 14q plus 8, what can we factor out of that? We can factor a 2 out, then we get this trinomial here. What can we do with that? Well, see, 3q minus 4 and q minus 1 would be the factoring of this trinomial. And then in this situation here, where we have negative 5z squared plus 20z, we could factor out negative 5z out of this, and we get z minus 4. And then in this situation here, 12p squared minus 21p plus 3, what can we factor out of this? We can get a 3 factored out of that. We end up with this trinomial here. And so let's take this example here, 3s squared minus 24. Students, this is yours down here. So what can we factor out of this number 7 here to break it down to make it easier to factor? Well, we can factor out a 3, and we get s squared minus 8. and that would be 1.4. Part 2. Part 3 is available here, as well as worksheets, class worksheets, quizzes, and tests, and online tutoring. Thank you very much.